At 9:30 a.m. on 18th May, Rees Howells wrote in his diary, "Unless God intervenes today in a miraculous way, I believe we are lost." Beyond the Odds is about key turning points in the First and Second World Wars, when Britain was saved from disaster and in some cases national catastrophe in circumstances that defied probabilities, hence the title Beyond the Odds. As it was to do so, on more than one occasion during the war, the weather saved the British Army. Brooke wrote afterwards, "What might have happened if the Germans had attacked before the winter makes me shudder to think."
The title Beyond the Odds is trying to say, look, in these wars, in these battles, things happen that are kind of like extraordinary. And even today, some of these things are somewhat unexplained. The extent to which lots of things happen in conjunction and by chance, so to speak, but can you really say it's just by chance? If you factor in God, you wouldn't say that. And then you start to think, well, maybe it was prayer after all. And that's the idea behind Beyond the Odds. Reading his Bible by candlelight, the brigade major remembered the name of the place from 1 Samuel, chapters 13 and 14. He read that Jonathan had gone through a narrow pass between two sharp rocks to gain the higher ground where he had surprised the Philistines. Scouts were sent out and the pass was identified, thinly held by the Turks. The plan of attack was changed, and at night, one infantry company was sent up through the pass. The Turks thought they were surrounded and fled. And so, concluded Major Gilbert, after thousands of years, British troops successfully copied the tactics of Saul and Jonathan.
Beyond the Odds is definitely a book that I've enjoyed reading. I mean, I am a military historian and I like reading well-researched and well-presented analysis. But what he's adding to this is a dimension that most, certainly most, if not all the other military historians never really even take into consideration, which is the impact of people's personal Christian faith and the impact of godly intervention into these events.
For me, and I think Tim as well, the context is important to understand the nature of the events. So what was the background to the events? Why were they significant? How likely were they? It's those kind of questions I think you can only look at when you look at the full history.
It's a history book, and I think it will be anybody who's interested in history, who likes reading about particularly military history, World War I, World War II, that sort of thing, will find it interesting and will find it giving a different perspective to the kind of history that you normally read on these things.
The bottom line is, it's a book that I've enjoyed reading. I'm actually going to read it again. I know I will refer back to it in the future in various different ways. Particularly, I preach every year on Remembrance Sunday, for example. So some of the stories and some of the examples are there to be used and to be useful in discussions with people.